Yeah. Oh man, doing business here in the Philippines is a irrational trip. You could do more business talking to a turtle on LSD, faster and more convenient and smoother than you can do talking to people that think they believe and understand and speak English. They can't. They don't. And they don't listen. But that's not exactly what I'm laughing at. That's partially what I'm laughing at. After two complete hours, not one, but two complete hours, 200 phone calls, at least 16 emails to four different companies, I still don't have a price for a rebar bender and or rebar cutter and or rebar bender cutter dual purpose machine, or for a electric vibrator or a gas powered vibrator. I still, after I'm talking 200 phone calls, four different companies, well, five, because one I disassociated myself from within seconds, but five companies, 200 phone calls, 16 emails, and 1 month of research, and I still don't have. I don't. Well, I have one price. I have one price. The price that I did get from, I won't mention anybody's name because, of course, she's just trying to make a living. But what she did was she took everybody else's price and doubled it. Just straight up and down, whatever the price was from one company, which was 109,000 pesos, or $2,200. She just took that price and double it to $4,400 for each item. So instead of spending exactly 5,000 peso, $5,000 US dollars, instead of spending $5,000, she took the prices that I already have in a file, and she just doubled the prices. I guess she's figuring for this price, and this does not include delivery, and it doesn't include my time to go there or my airfare. So I guess she just figured for these prices we can get this product. But the people that had rational prices, as soon as you tell them, okay, give me the address to where you are, communication stops. It's as if we're in a twilight zone here. We're working somewhere within the boundaries of the outer limits. You ever see that? I don't remember which one it was, where the car in the outer limits or the twilight zone, it goes down the road and it hits this glass wall because that's as far as you could go. That's what it's like doing business here in the Philippines. That's what it's like. I'm not lying to you. I'm trying to make it you understand. It's impossible. Good morning, Jim. Yeah, words of wisdom. It's impossible to do business with these people. Now I'm going to go through that step by step. I'm going to go through how many companies I spoke with and how many times I asked for an email with the person who I'm talking to's. After I give them my email address, I say, "Yo, confirm my email." Yes, sir. Confirm it now, though. Write me out an email and put my email address in and put your name and your Globe telephone number in the title of the email. In the body of the email, just put down blah, blah, blah. But so that I know, and to put your name, Joe, John, Blow, Joe, Blow, John, put your name and your telephone number and the name of your company in the title. Not once did I get that response. Not once. So I get emails from people I don't know who I'm talking to because now I have four different companies I called this morning. So never did one person put their name in the title, even though I make it clear as day. If it wasn't clear to you what I just said, then you're an idiot. Okay, if you didn't understand when I said put your name in the title, then you're an idiot. And these people, when I say put your name in the title, they're idiots. These are the most incompetent salespeople I've ever. And there's no way to explain the incompetence. But I have to talk about the BIR first. So I'm going to go to. I'm going to go to something serious, and then because this buying this rebar bender, and it's a nightmare. So let's go to let's go to the new rules for the BIR taxes. Okay, and not a lot of changes in how you pay your Bureau of Internal Revenue taxes. So now we're just going to talk normal because these people at the BIR, Bureau of Internal Revenue Service in Bohol, have treated me with such great respect. I found it the most rewarding experience. These people bent over, and when they see me walk in, they bend over backwards to assist me. They know who I am, but I mean, they just can't do enough to help me get through this paperwork. That includes the guards at the Bureau of Internal Revenue Service. That includes the guards upstairs with helping me to direct me to which room I go to. They assist me. They walk me because there was a new place that we had to go to get my BIR taxes taken care of, and I think it was the same lady, but there's a different lady that one time or the other. They're different. So they sit me down. They walk into the office. They talk to the lady. They give the lady my paperwork. The lady comes over to me. She looks at my paperwork and said, "Sir, and this is something new that we are doing. We would like you to volunteer a certain amount of money for a tax that you don't have." So I gave them 1,000 pesos extra for my volunteer tax because prior to that, when I got my paperwork from my accountant, which is right next door to the BIR tax office, when I got my paperwork, apparently one sheet of paper was missing. But I should have 3 copies of each document. One for me, and then 2 goes to the BIR. So that woman could have made me go find an outsource with a printing machine, a photocopy machine, and wherever I would have to go. Probably I could go right next door to the accountant's office. However, the accountant's office is usually a half hour to 40 minutes wait. So that would mean I would have to wait a half hour to 40 minutes, go downstairs, go next door, wait my turn, and then come back upstairs and then sit down and wait my turn if someone was ahead of me. It wasn't real crowded. So what she did, she said, "Sir, I will make you a copy." She didn't have to do that. But apparently they look at me as the old confused guy. Because it's confusing. Every time you go there, things are different. Where things are, who you speak to. So there are new rules. So here are the new rules for the BIR. Let me check. I see my friend Jim is here. Thank you for stopping by. Let me check my. If I don't know you, if you don't have a channel, if you're not a member of my Patreon account or anything like that, please don't comment. I'm not interested, not one bit, in what you have to say. Not one bit. I am here to put some information on the screen, and I am here for my enjoyment. And if you can enjoy my commentary, that's fine. Please don't, unless I know you personally. I have your phone number. I have you are my personal friend. You're a longtime friend of mine that never gave me any money, like LaRue Seagrass, somebody like that. I'm more than happy to talk to my friends. But other than that, if I don't know who you are, please don't comment. Just watch, push the thumbs up, push the thumbs down, go away happy, or just go away. I don't care. So let's get this straight. Okay, so we do have 2 friends here, Scott Del Fuego. I shouted into the dirty streets of Chicago West Side, I want to hear from an alpha man, a man with a purpose, a man of integrity. Opened up YouTube, and guess And I guess the universe answered. I ought to talk to you about the universe, because the universe has been treating me very good the last week, but this is my time of the year to shine. Every time I drop something, like a piece of bread that could fall with the mayonnaise or the mustard sauce on the counter, every time I drop it lands mayo or mustard up. Every time I drop a bottle cap, it lands someplace where I can easily retrieve it. And every time I drop anything else, it gets hung up on something a few inches from the counter, and I can just reach and grab it. I don't have to bend over to the floor. The universe is on my side this week. So Jim is, good morning, Michael. Looking forward to today's words of wisdom. So I'm going to give you the, Mr. Fazio wants comments from community members, not hecklers and trolls. It's not complicated. It isn't complicated. If I don't know you, I don't want to know you. Now, when I have the ability to put Super Chat on the page, if that happens, then if you Super Chat me, then I might consider answering your question, if it's an intelligent question. But other than that, if you're not a Patreon member, my personal friend, if I don't know your phone number, I don't want to hear from you. Now, you can do whatever you want with that, but I'm going to move back to the new rules for the BIR. So here are the new rules. So let me try to explain to you. Let me explain to you where the BIR is. Everybody knows where the BQ Mall in Bohol is. Okay, so you go outside the BQ Mall and you stand in front of McDonald's on the corner and you look to the road that heads uphill like that. That road straight opposite, not the long street, not the east, not the street that's flat. There's a road that looks uphill. Uphill. You go up that hill 2 blocks. Just walk across the street at the crosswalk by the corner of McDonald's. And you go uphill 1 short block and 1 very long block. About 1,200 feet. You're going to get to the corner. You're going to see a big corner. And then you're going to see like an office that says printing. And also you'll see a beauty parlor on the corner that's just in front of you. When you see that beauty parlor, you make a left. You walk 80 feet. 80 feet. That is the BIR office. Okay, so it's not complicated. Straight up from McDonald's, up the hill, 2 blocks. You make a left, you walk 80 feet. That's the BIR. Immediately next to the BIR, facing the building on the right-hand side, is an accountant. You need to have an accountant to file your papers. They will give you papers that look with, form papers that look similar. Well, it looks like this, but I don't want to give you my personal information. But so this is dated July 21st, 2021. And this is some of the numbers that associate with it. And at the top of the page is the form number. So I could give you the form number. There's 2 forms. You have to have 2 forms. One of them is the 1701 Quebec, 1701 Quebec. So at the accountant's office, before you go to the BIR, don't go to the BIR till you go to the accountant's office. You're wasting your time, number one. So you bring your ledger book with how much money you earned in your business to the account, whatever business you have. And you ring the bell, locked door, they'll come to the door, you sit down and you wait your turn. Somewhere between 20 and 35 minutes is normal. So try to get there early, because you're going to want to be there early, I assure you. Or you're going to want to go the day before you go to the BIR, so you don't have to wait for 4 hours online at the BIR, because that's how long the line is. 4 hours, 5 hours, like that. So you go to the accountant and you hand them your ledger book or a single piece of paper with all of your earnings for the previous 3 months. So this is July, that doesn't count. April, May, and June. So you total up your April, May, and June for each business. Put it on a paper. April, $10. May, $10. June, $10. That's one business. Second business, April, $10. May, $10. June, $10. That's two businesses. And you name the businesses. Doesn't matter, but just you name them to keep it separate for the accountant. She takes your paperwork, and then she does something on the computer. They're very efficient at this. The same lady takes care of me. She knows but here's a big but. And this is, if you don't have this piece of information with you, then they don't service you. They tell you to go pound sand. So here's the deal. Before you can get your BIR tax identification number, you have to go to the BIR office and apply for a tax identification number, a TIN number. When you fill out that, and you need to have your passport and driver's license and your ACR card with you. Now, when you fill that paperwork out, they give you a list of places that you can get your tax books made. The easiest place is immediately next to the beauty parlor on that corner, 80 feet away. They will take your paperwork from the BIR, and you have to have the paperwork from the BIR. They will take the paperwork because what they're going to do is they're going to call up the BIR and speak directly to someone who just gave you that paperwork, whoever it is. It's the same person, but whoever's on duty that day, they're going to call them up and confirm that your paperwork is legitimate before you get your tax books. I ordered 12 books, 50 copies of each. So it's white and yellow, white and yellow, white and yellow. It's photo, like it imprints your name on the second sheet. I ordered 12 books. Now, from that point, you have to wait about, well, it could be hours if you want to, give them an incentive, or it could be a few days. So that's your first step. Second step, you have your book. You have your ledger. You go to the accountant's office with either a photocopy of your TIN number, or an actual receipt from one of your books. No problem. Remember this. You have to bring that number each time. They don't store it in their computer. They can't look up your name without having that TIN number. So take a picture, put it on your phone, and don't go there without the number. Or wherever you had the books made up, you have to go back to that place and get the number, which they'll give to you, or go home and get a receipt. So bring the TIN number with you every time you go to the accountant's office. Now, you go to the accountant, you give them the money that you made, and then you give them $2, 100 pesos. They give you 6 sheets of paper, 2 papers, 3 copies each. You take those papers. Now, you can't go into the office again after you applied for your TIN number. You can't go in the office again until you have the accountant's papers. Like, you can't go in there and tell them you want to give them the numbers. That's not allowed. You have to go to an accountant. You bring these papers right here to the guards at the bottom, who were very nice to me the last time. In fact, they gave me a brand new mask, a brand new face shield, because mine was a little beat up. So you take these papers here, you give them to the guard, and then the guard says to you, you go upstairs. But this is one of the differences from last year. Okay, I skipped one little 1 to 4 hour wait thing. After you get out of the accountant's office, then there's a line of chairs, 60, 50, 75 chairs, however many is needed. So the first chair is, they're up first. It used to be that you'd get a number, 1 through 150. At that point, last year, or even 6 months ago, they were only taking 150 people a day. So this is a new rule. Now it's unlimited. However, when you had a number, you could disappear and go shopping. I used to go to the BQ Mall, to the ICM Mall, to get my vegetables, my gulai, to get paint, come back 4 hours later, and then give them the number. And usually that's about how long it took to get up to my number. No longer is it like that. Now they have chairs. 1, 2, 3. I saw probably 35 chairs are in the video I made. So now those are 35, but they can add chairs. They have lots of chairs. And there's going to be, if you don't get there, I get there at 6:45 in the morning, and I was number 8. You get there at 7:15, and you're going to be 35. You get there at 10 o'clock, and you might not get service that day. So now you sit in the chair, and you wait your turn. And there's always somebody there to help you, because there's 2 different types of businesses. My business and other people's businesses. One is you paying taxes, one is something else altogether. So when the guard comes when you go before you sit in the chair, or when you sit in the chair, as soon as he sees you sit down, he comes and looks at your paperwork. They walk right up to you and say, "Let me see your paperwork, sir." And you give it to them and they say, "Okay, you're in the right place." Because you could either wait in a chair over here, or you could wait in a chair over there. But one way or another, you're going to sit in a chair for hours. Okay, I'm not real sure why I'm seeing this crap here. Get this guy out of here. Thank you, Scott. Okay, Jim, yeah, I don't like comments. Jim, please, let me finish my dissertation, Jim. Please, okay? Any comment breaks my routine. Thank you. So, you're sitting in the chair. The guard tells you can sit in the chair. And now you're in the chair. So, but you can't leave. You have to wait, because the chairs, it's like musical chairs. So they allow 4 people in from your chairs, and they allow 4 people in from the other chairs over there. Over there chairs are different than your chairs. So you have chairs 1 and chairs 2. So 4 and 4, 4 and 4, 4 and 4, 4 and 4. So to go from 8 o'clock, the office opens up, and I was in the chair at 6:45, 6:45 a.m., and I was still number 8. At 7:15, there were 35 people. At 10 o'clock, when I got out of there were 75 people. So get there early. You sit in the chair. They give you, when you go up to you can't leave. Remember, you can't leave. So you have to, if you want to leave, you have to come with another person, because they don't save your chair. So you go up into the office. Now, this is the new part. Used to be, you could go to the number 6 window, not with my taxes anymore. Now, the guard looks at your paper, and another person gives you a number. I was number 3 on window 8. She brings you to the back of the building, in a different place than it used to be. So it's no longer that place. It's a different place, a little different. Same floor, but a different place. The lady comes over to you and takes you. I'm telling you, she thinks I'm the confused elderly gentleman. She treats me like I was her father. She's very nice to me. So she said, "Sir, let me see your paperwork." So I gave her the paperwork, and she goes, "Sir, this this form. This form has no income on it. You'll have to fill that out online. So it used to be I got to window 8 and they would tell me that. So now I said to her, well, normally I volunteer 800 to 1,000 pesos and put it in that box, and they accept it at the counter number 8. She goes, we still honor that system, method. So this second set of papers that has no monetary, you don't owe them anything for monetary value. The second set of papers I put down, voluntary payment, 1,000 pesos. Because for the amount of time this woman saved me, it was worth 1,000 pesos. Now, with that sheet, with those papers, there were 2, there's supposed to be 3. She said, where's the 3rd page? I said, ma'am, this has been rolled up in a rubber band since I got it from the lady next door. She goes, okay, sir, I'll photocopy it. So she went into the room next door and photocopied. That's not her job. She didn't have to do that. And she was very nice. So, and she didn't charge me. I offered to pay for it. She said no. So she's already spending 15 minutes with me alone. And there were other people waiting. So she photocopies it. She brings it back. I sign. You have to sign each page again in front of her. Voluntary payment, Michael FAZIO, 1,000 pesos. Then you say goodbye. She says goodbye, and you go to the front with, at this point, you get another number. Okay? So now I'm still number 3, window 8. Well, you get the same number, but you have to use that number. So I'm still number 3, window 8. So now it's, well, that process took from 8 o'clock to altogether 8:30. By the time I got my number, half an hour. Just figure half an hour for that. So then I sit down and I'm waiting for the cashier, Chinese girl, Chinese Filipino, and she's not there. So now it's 8:30. She's not there. So I said to one of the ladies, ma'am, would you suggest that I come back like in an hour? Will the lady be here, the cashier? Because I have stuff to do. I don't want to be there all day. No, sir. Watch this. No, sir. She'll be here at 9 o'clock. She'll be here at 9 o'clock? Yes, sir. She'll be here at 9 o'clock. She put up 10 fingers. So the guy behind me, he said, that's 10 fingers. So she goes, oh yeah, she'll be here at 9 o'clock. And she removes 1 finger. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So 9 o'clock comes and goes. And so does 9:15. Now I'm in the chair, another chair, different chair. You know how much I hate chairs. And I'm in another chair. Now I'm in, because when I had a nice chair with a view of window number 8, and when I got up to ask her what time the cashier would be in, someone took my chair. The chair theft in the Philippines is amazing. So now I got to sit in the back where I can't, so much noise when the speaker speaks. They have these speakers, they go like that. So now I got to look at the chart. So now I can't see if the Chinese cashier comes in. I got to keep walking over, but I leave my papers on my chair so no one steals my chair this time. So at about 9:25, the cashier comes in, sits down, and she does Patron 1 and 2. So she knows me. So she goes, oh, good morning. So we said good morning, and it takes her about, you know what? The next time I go, I'm gonna videotape this process she does. She does the most amazing thing with this paperwork, and a pair of scissors, and a carbon copy. I'm looking at this. I'm going, this is the first time I ever watched that process, and it was halfway through, and I says I should have photographed, videotaped. She is the most efficient person with paperwork I ever seen. She's going carbon copy, signing numbers, names, stamps, boom, 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 boom. She's like an amazing girl. So at the end of the process, she tells you what you owe, and then they give you this. You pay your bill, and then they give you this paper here. I'm not going to show this to you, but this is the taxpayer's copy. And I'm putting my finger over it so somebody can't get my identification. So this is the taxpayer's copy. Okay, that's the 1,000 peso volunteer payment that I made. So now you're done. Now you go home. I said, what do I do with this? She goes, put it in your files. Thank you very much. So now it's, I don't know, quarter to 10. So the whole process, you're there for 3 hours. However, if you don't get there at 6:30 or quarter to 7 in the morning, you'll be there for 5 or 6 hours in your chair. You'll be there for 5 or 6 hours. And at some point, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they count how many people they think that they can service or that should be able to service, and then they tell the people in the chair behind that person, go home, come back tomorrow. Problem with that is if you come back tomorrow, there's a late fee of 1,000 pesos plus accrued taxes on a daily basis. And you can no longer go to the BIR office. You have to go to a bank 5 blocks away. And you have to be at that bank before 12 o'clock. And this is where the nightmare of this process starts. That bank, you would think they would put somebody, a guard, somebody that spoke English or that could understand English or that could make a comprehensible sentence out of English at the front of the line of the bank. But they can't do that. They won't do it. They haven't done it. They've never done it. Okay, so last week on Friday, I went to pay my taxes. This is a nightmare. Do not be late. You can go there 5 days early. You can go there at any time before the 21st. But on the 22nd, things start to get confusing. The bank that you have to go to, the guard doesn't speak a word of English, nor does he care to learn or to go get somebody that speaks English. I'm not going to name the bank, but this is where you're going to end up if you're late. So on Friday, I went to the BIR and it was closed due to the virus. 5 days. So it's going to open on the 21st. That's the last day that you can do business before you have a 1,000 peso late fee, which is why I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get there at a quarter to 7. So I go to the bank, and it's exactly 12 o'clock. I mean like 11:59 when I get there, because I went to the BIR, and then I walked to the bank instead of taking a tricycle. It's only 5 blocks and I need the exercise. So I get to the guard and I said, sir, he knows who I am. Sir, I'd like to pay my taxes. 12 o'clock, sir. That was what he said, 12 o'clock. So I looked at my cell phone. It said 11:59. I said, yes, sir, 12 o'clock. I want to pay and I go to sign the book. No, sir, 12 o'clock. It's going to be 12 o'clock in like 15 seconds. 12 o'clock, yes, okay. Let me sign the book. No, sir, 12 o'clock. What does that mean, 12 o'clock? I mean, 12 o'clock, it's 11:59. All right, so you want me to wait a minute? So I stand there. I don't say anything. I wait till it's 12 o'clock, and I go to sign the book. He goes, sir, 12 o'clock. I said to him, what is it that you want to happen at 12 o'clock? Do I turn into a pumpkin? Which he didn't understand. But so another guy from inside guard walks out. And he said, 12 o'clock, sir. I said, I don't understand. No kasabut. Wala kasabut. I don't understand. Sir, 12 o'clock. I said, it's 12 o'clock. No, sir. You come before 12 o'clock. I said, I was here at 11:59. No, sir. You come before 12 o'clock. So, if you're going to have to go to the bank each day that you're late to pay your pay, if you're late, you have to go to that bank and you have to be there by 12 o'clock. Now, the guard at the downstairs of the BRI will tell you how to get there, because I'm not going to name names of banks, but they're totally worthless. They don't speak English. They don't care to speak English. I even said to the guard, can you get somebody that speaks English? No, sir. You want my money, and the bank charges you a fee. The penalty fee is $1,020 and you pay an accrued fee for the late charges on your taxes. That's what you got to go through if you're late. So now, when you pay at the bank, you're done. Don't be late. Don't be late. Otherwise, it's going to cost you $1,530 additional to be late. And the next time I volunteer money, I'm probably going to volunteer going back to what I originally volunteered, 500 pesos for the second sheet. Because basically, I don't earn any income from that type of income, and I'm just giving them some money. So I've already given them probably 8,000 or 9,000 pesos as volunteer money. But I'm going to go back to 500 pesos. They'll accept that. But they like, when I originally put 500 pesos down, the woman, maybe 800 pesos, sir? like they're paying their own salary. Why shouldn't they ask you for more? Which is okay. It's worth it to get in and out and to have the woman photograph everything. But next time, she won't have to photograph anything, and she won't have to ask me to sign the papers individually and write down voluntary payment, because you have to write down voluntary payment in this little box like this. It takes like 5 extra minutes. Okay. Next, so I'm going back to 500 pesos voluntary. Now I want to go back to the rebar bending thing. Okay? Okay, so I have had this morning, easy. Well, you all know I tried to get a rebar bender / cutter. Same machine. Rebar bender on top, rebar cutter on the side. But I couldn't go to Manila because of the lockdown. So I lost out on that opportunity, and about 7 or 8 legitimate emails back and forth, multiple phone calls, because the lockdown was on, and I wanted to keep in touch with the woman who kept in touch with me and told me we still have that item available. And at the end of the day, she sent me an email saying, sir, we only have one item left. If you can come to Manila, we will save it for you. But if not, we're going to sell it. So that was a legitimate business that had a rebar bender cutter, 2 machines in one, for 109,000 pesos. It was a good deal. I couldn't buy it because I couldn't go to Manila because of the lockdown. So that was one legitimate company. Had nothing to do with this garbage, worthless, useless, absolute scandalous company called Carousel. Carousell. Carousel, Sell, doesn't want to sell anything to anybody. It's a fraud. It's a scam. It's a nightmare. It's scandalous. They're thieves of your time. So, 6 weeks ago, I call up a woman. We'll just call her So. And she's the biggest liar I ever met doing business. I never met a bigger liar. I never met a woman that's more incompetent. This is through Carousel. So not only did I have to tell this woman 20 times to slow her speech down and speak louder, they just refused to do that. All Filipinos refuse to talk slow. and speak louder. They just do it. They just refuse to do it. Because you ask them, they don't do it. Because you ask them, they don't understand, they don't do it. Because you ask them, they don't comprehend English, they don't do it, for whatever reason. So you have to constantly, during the conversation, say, speak slower. Hinai, hinai, H-I-N-I, hinai, hinai, kasabut hinai, yes sir. And they go, blah, 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 again. So, sends me, I give her my email address. After about 6 or 7 conversations, and I'm not exaggerating, because the first time she answered the phone, she had music or the television playing in the background, and she couldn't hear me, and I couldn't hear her, so she hung up. The second time, she had music or the television, and she couldn't hear me, so she hung up. The third time she answered the phone, I said, shut off the music! The idiot couldn't figure out that the music was making so much noise is why she couldn't hear me. And she's the person that answers the phone for the company. So she shuts off the music, and then what do we have? We have a dog barking, and we have children playing in the background, which also deadened her ability to understand what I was saying. Please go someplace where there's no noise. So we're up to like 5 phone calls. This went on until she went to a quiet place. I gave her my email address, because the email addresses that are listed for her company don't work. None of them. There's 4. They don't work. She sends me a text in my phone. Now, with that, she sends me a text in my phone with her email address. That does work. So I send her out my itemized list of 7 items. Simple, right? So I call her back. She gets the mail. And this is probably around June 1st. So what is that? That's 7 weeks ago, yeah? Yeah, 7 weeks ago. June 1st. I said to her, do you have the rebar bender cutter combination machine in stock? Yes, sir. Great. Do you have the rebar cutting hand operated tool? Yes, sir. Do you have the rebar wire tying machines up to 34 millimeter and up to 60 millimeter? Yes, sir. Do you have 50 rolls of wire? Yes, sir. How about an electric vibrator? Yes, sir. How about a gasoline powered vibrator? Yes, sir. So it's all in the list. So you have everything in stock? Yes, sir. Okay, send me a price quote. Okay, sir, I'll do that now. So I get a text. She's going to send me a price quote on June 1st. After that, no price quote. 100 times I pushed redial, all hours of the day and night, because I figure she's not going to answer the phone during business hours. Maybe she's up in the middle of the night, she'll answer the phone, and then she'll send me the price list. But she never did. So today, I got a different way to research for the rebar bending cutting machines, but I still wanted her prices. There's no sense in shopping unless you're going to shop. So today, after pushing redial, because her number was on my redial every day, at the end of the day, I'd put her number in and just push redial. She's not going to answer the phone. The least I could do is annoy her. That's the way I look at it. So she never answered the phone. But today, she answered the phone. So answers the phone. Yes, sir. How can I help you? So, do you remember me? My name is Michael FAZIO. No, sir. I wanted a rebar bender cutting machine combination and the tie guns. No, sir, I don't remember you. I said, how could you not remember me? I've sent you 4 emails with my name in the title. Sir, I never received any emails. Well, how about I made 100 phone calls? Sir, I never got a phone call from you. She's lying. She's lying because it's not just redial and a wrong number redial. It's at night I put her number in the phone. It's right there on my book. I never got a phone call from you, sir. I don't know what to say to her. Well, I can't say what I'm thinking. Okay, so can you get me the prices? Sir, can you send me an email? I did. I sent you 4 emails. Sir, what email address did you send them to? The email address that we've been corresponding with. A such and such and such. Sir, that's the problem. What problem is it? You responded on the first day. Yes, sir. That in charge, that person, that means when they say in charge, it's a lie to begin with. But that in charge no longer works for the company. So she blamed it on her boss. She didn't blame it on a coworker or a husband or her. That in charge is no longer working for the company. So I said, so why didn't you answer your phone? I made 100 phone calls. Sir, no phone calls from you. So she's lying. Okay, so we are dealing with a liar. Bakakun ka lady. Okay, so Bakakun ka means liar. We're dealing with a professional liar. 100 times you don't see my phone message. No, sir. How many texts? No, sir. How many emails? No, sir. You're a liar. I told her she's a liar. You're lying. You got to get the... Okay, because I never got a response back that said this email is dead. I never got a response back from the phone that this number's been disconnected. No answer, busy, rings and no answer, but never disconnected. So I said, I need to speak with the in charge. Okay, sir, I'll get him. So the in charge comes, the boss. Bullshit boss, but okay, so what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. What is your name? Please tell me your name. Blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, speak slower, speak louder. Blah, 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 blah. Spell it phonetically. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo. No, sir. Why won't you spell it? Sir, what can I help you with? They don't want to give their name. They don't want to take responsibility because that woman, in the last email I sent, I am complaining directly about your name, your telephone number, your email address to Carousel. So he knows I'm going to make a complaint if I don't get this straightened out. So he refuses to give me his name. Absolutely refuses. I said, do you want to do business or not? Yes. What can I help you with? So I says, you have the email with my prices in it, right? I mean my order in it, right? No, sir. How could you not have it? I sent it to Alpha, blah, blah, blah. Yes, sir. The in charge no longer works here. I said, yes, but when I sent it, the first email with my list, So sent me a reply in my text message. She has the items and she'll get back to me with a work order. No, sir, we don't have it. You're lying. You're lying. What's your name? No, sir. Not going to give me his name. Okay, so he says, what's your email? So I give him my email. This is what you got to go through. Now, you're not listening here. He asks me for my email, so I give it to him. He repeats it. Somehow, when I said Bravo, he got Echo. Somehow, when I said October, he got India. He couldn't even understand Bravo October. He could not understand that. Even though when he repeated the email that I gave him, he went Alpha Bravo Charlie, Delta Echo Foxtrot, and so on. He knew the phonetic alphabet by heart, but he couldn't hear the phonetic alphabet from somebody that spoke English slowly. So I says, do you have like an IQ problem? Hello. Look, I asked you people, and I mean it to the bottom of my heart, William. I don't know who you are. I would really appreciate it if you don't comment while I'm talking. I'd appreciate it if no one commented ever. I'm serious about that. Now I broke my concentration again. I don't like that. You know I don't like it, and you did it anyway. Please don't do it again. I don't know who you are. You're not a PayPal member. I'll repeat it. You're not a subscriber to my PayPal, my Patreon. You've never sent me money. You don't have a playlist. You don't have a channel with my videos on it. You are basically nothing but a name on YouTube. I don't need your comments on my page. I am not kidding about this. If I don't know who you are, I don't have your phone number, you don't have a channel with my videos as playlists and so on and so forth, I don't want to read your comments. When I get Super Chat, if I get Super Chat and you want to Super Chat money and ask me a question or say hello, I'll acknowledge your name. But in the meantime, you people that don't understand English, are you following the same methodologies that they teach Filipinos how to answer the phone? Has your IQ been reduced? Are you drunk? Are you on some kind of medical chemicals that you don't follow instructions? If you worked for me, I would fire you. At this point, I've said it enough times to not have to repeat it. But, William Pillipal, please don't comment on my page until I know who you are. Telephone number, PayPal, Patreon. Somehow you're my personal friend down the block. If I don't know who you are, I don't want to hear from you. It's not complicated. I've said it 100 times. Back to where I left off. The next person gets blocked. 100%, you don't come back on at any name. At the end of the dissertation, if you want to say goodbyes, you say goodbye. Talk to other people. Don't ask me questions. Don't ask me stupid questions. Don't say hello. Don't compliment me. Don't do anything. Just don't comment. It's not complicated. If I don't know who you are, I don't want to read your comments. And I don't know who you are. Jeez. So, the guy, whose name I don't know, tells me, reads back my email address incorrectly. So I correct him with Bravo October. And he reads back October not as India, but as Echo. Okay, so I'm dealing with someone with a reduced IQ, because now it's not a question of phonetics. He knows the phonetic alphabet. He just can't comprehend someone saying Alpha, Bravo, October. So he tells me to send him the list. And I send him the list of materials I want. Itemized 7 items, with 2 of them being options from one or the other. Princess, no, I don't have a girlfriend. And I'm asking you not to comment, please. I know who you are, but please don't comment on my page until I'm done talking. I'm not going to ask you again. I won't say it again. People are amazing. You feel that what you have to say is more important than what I have to say. You want to pay me for my time? I'll answer your questions. Oh my God, this is amazing. That people can't understand English. I just went through the dissertation of don't leave a comment, and here we go again. Don't leave another comment. Next person gets blocked, 100%. I don't care whether I know you or not. Next person, I better know who you are personally. Jesus Christ almighty. Filipinos, they just don't listen. So, I send them the email with the itemized list in it, but I removed one possibility of a 50 millimeter rebar bender. I removed that from my email because I don't want a 50 millimeter rebar bender. So I said, did you get my email? Yes, sir. I said, what items do you have in stock? But in the original email that I sent out on June 1st, the 50 millimeter rebar bender was in there, and the original email that from Alpha such and such, he said he didn't have the original email. So when I told him I sent out the email with the current list. Did you receive that? Yes, sir. Okay, what items do you have in stock? Sir, we have the 50 millimeter rebar bender. Really? But it's not on the list. Yes, sir, it's on the list. Now you know you're dealing with an idiot, right? Now, because he's so stupid that he believes that I don't know what I sent him. He is reading from the email I sent on June 1st with the list on it, even though I sent him a different email today without the 50 millimeter rebar bender on it. This is what you get. So I said, I don't want that item. What's the next item? 32 millimeter rebar bender cutter. Do you have the rebar bender and cutter? Because it's supposed to be one machine. No, sir. We have the rebar bender or the rebar cutter. Let me show you something on the screen. How they sell this crap. How they misinform you about what you're buying. And how complicated it is for these people to get a simple thing, a simple word, a simple statement. These people that are doing this have to come from China or some freaking weird place that really doesn't exist in the real world. Here, look at this. Look at what it says here. The top is a JMB 25. That means 25 millimeter. Well, I don't want that. I want a 32 millimeter. But look at the bottom words. 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 Rebar cutter and bender. Rebar cutter and bender. Manual. Whatever that means. Electric and mobile. What the hell? I never said the word mobile, but I don't even know what the word mobile means, except that they're describing this handheld rebar cutter as a mobile cutter, mobility. But rebar cutter and bender, that means one machine, yeah? I would read it as one machine, but this is how they scam you, because you'll buy this machine for 123,000 pesos. But then when you get it, it doesn't have a cutter. Then you have to buy a cutter. See this cutter here? This cutter is separate. Now, everywhere else on the internet, this cutter is 109,000, 115,000 pesos. They have it listed as 220,000 pesos, double. They double the price. So everywhere else, it's 110,000 pesos, let's say. And this company wants 220,000 pesos. This cutter, I want the JMB 32. They send me the JMB 25 at 123,000 pesos. That's what I would pay for it someplace else. They have it listed as 240,000 pesos. They just double the price. So I said to the guy, I said, but these prices that you're giving me are not the prices that were quoted from So. We'll just call her So. They're not the prices that are quoted from the lady I spoke to originally. No, sir. But what do you mean, no, sir? What do you mean, no, sir? The prices have changed. He says, are you serious? Are you really serious? You took the original price and you doubled it. Yes, sir. The prices have changed. So I said to him, and you're a liar. Because the price, the item list that you're reading from me is the item list I sent on June 1st that you said you didn't have. And we're done doing business. I'll find another place. And it was just that simple. So now, I have no rebar bender. I have no rebar cutter. I have no rebar tying machines. And yet, So, in her original return email, said we have all of those items in stock. Except that the guy the in charge, the guy won't give me his name, he is now telling me that the mobile is not in stock and the rebar tie machines are not in stock. And the vibrator, the concrete gasoline-powered vibrator is not in stock. So, and the prices for the original items doubled, exactly doubled. So now I said, no, I'm not going to do business with you. I'm doing this since 7 o'clock this morning. So I call up another company, completely different company, different name of, not Carousel, not related to them in any way. There's no possible way. The address is different unless they know each other. So I call another company up. I get Princess. So I said, so because your name is Princess, I'm going to have to pay twice the price, right? So she laughed. I said, there's nothing funny about this. This is business. Do you have this item in stock? Yes, sir. The 32 millimeter rebar cutter. Yes, sir, we have that in stock. I said, well, I got a price quote for the 32 millimeter for 109,000 pesos. So we'll send you an email with the prices. Our price, we'll send you our price list for all the items. Yes, sir, all the items that we have. So I gave her 3 items. But I says, you're going to send me a price list of all the items you have in stock? Yes, sir. Another misunderstanding. Another incompetent person that says they speak English. So in other words, if you're going to send me a price list, that means your construction equipment price list is going to be sent to me in a PDF. And I'll be able to read it so I don't have to ask, yes, sir. What does she send me? She sends me back a PDF with the 3 items I asked her about, not the whole price list. So dealing with these people here in the Philippines is a nightmare. Now, I'll show you the PDF and how ridiculous this is. I sent her back a very nice letter. I'm not going to put her name. You're not going to see my email address. And you're going to see the document. This is outrageous. No, it's impossible for a price to double in 6 weeks. So let me get this item open. These people are the most they're so incompetent. It's the Twilight Zone. It's worse than the Twilight Zone because it's everybody, which is like the Twilight Zone episode. Everybody is incompetent. Okay, all right, so I asked her, let's make sure you can't see any of my personal information, and you can't, okay. Okay, so I only asked her, let's make sure we have all, nothing is going to show. I don't want to name the name of the company. These people are just so freaking incompetent. I won't do it because it's just wrong to badmouth them because there's no way. Well, I could prove it with emails, but I didn't record the conversation. So this is basically hearsay. So okay. So now I said I want up. That's not supposed to be there. We have to get rid of that part of the email. Had my email address in there, and that's not supposed to be there. We're not going to be able to do that, are we? No, unless I hang something over I could hang something over the computer. I could do that. I don't want a bunch of scrap emails coming to my way, so I'm going to hang something over the computer that blocks out my email address, because apparently that's how it works. Okay, if I put a clip on that, if I had a clip, okay. Okay, that works. Okay, so I asked for a 32 millimeter rebar bender. I don't want a bigger bender and I don't want a smaller bender because they vary in price by a big amount. Here's what I got back. If my email address is in there at this point, I really don't care. Here's what I got back. Specifications. Okay, so the rebar bender I asked about, 32 millimeter, was 123,000 pesos and 109,000 pesos from two other companies. So she sends me, and it was the JMB 32. She sends me JMB 43, 700,000 pesos. That's $14,000. Did I ask for a $14,000 rebar bender? No, but that's what she sends me. It's so big that I couldn't use it even if I wanted to because it sucks up so much electric. It'll cost me $100 a month for the electric to keep this machine on, only by itself. So I want the 32 millimeter rebar bender, the JMB 32. There it is, right there. My price, 109 or 123. Her price, my price from everybody else, 233 to 830. But everybody else that had the price at 109 or 123 doesn't have the item in stock or doesn't answer their emails. So, I want this machine for the simple reason that it is single phase, right here, single phase, 220 volts. That's why I need the smaller machine. This is 123,000 pesos. That's $2,500 more for only a rebar bender. When originally the rebar bender and cutter combination was 109,000 pesos. But I couldn't go to Manila. So, $2,500 more, and that does not include shipping or my transportation or my airfare. And then I didn't ask for a 25 millimeter rebar because I used 32 millimeter in the hotel build. This one is 120,000 pesos or $5,400, but it won't do the job I needed to do. Why did she send me this crap? All I wanted was this one. And her price is $2,500 more. And I told her what I was willing to pay for the machine. So this is another hour of on the internet with this idiot who can't understand this is what I want to pay and this is what I'm willing to pay. So she wasted an hour of my time, which is why I'm making this video, dealing with these people here. It's a freaking nightmare. Okay. This cutter, the JCB 32, it cuts up to 32 millimeter. But the price I've gotten from other companies that do have this item in stock is 110,000 pesos. So this is 160,000 pesos more, 165,000 pesos more, or $3,000 plus US dollars, $3,000 more for this machine than I can buy it anywhere else, and it is in stock in other places. So her discounted price is $220. So, okay, so I'm gonna. The other one is 110. This is 110,000. Excuse me, $2,400 more. $2,400 more. She could take off from this 275,000. She could take off 60%, and to get it down to other people's prices. And then this item here, this rebar cutter, This rebar cutter is the only thing that's only within 20% of a normal price. This is a cutter that cuts up to 16 millimeter. It's only twice the price that I can buy it. No, it's 30% more. And this is the one that I would need. This is a different rebar cutter, up to 25, which won't do what I want. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. So this is 56,000 pesos right here. 56,000 pesos. I can buy this all day long for 32,000 pesos. So it's 24,000 pesos more or $500 more for a handheld item. And this is what you get when you're doing business in the Philippines. This vibrating unit, she might as well bend me over and shove it into the old... anyway, so this is 19,000 pesos, 18,000 pesos with the discounted price. This should be, and I can buy it all day long for 12,000 pesos. It's 6,000 pesos more. On a 12,000 peso item, it's 50% more. You gotta shop. You gotta be insane to want to do something here with these people. They lie, then they deceive, then they make it your fault, then they lie about whether or not they got an email, they lie about whether or not they're reading the right email, they lie about everything. This woman did not lie, Princess. She did not lie. But she didn't answer my question. I only want 3 things. She sent me 9 possibilities. I know what I want. And then all her prices are 50 to 100% more. And this is what it's like to do business here in the Philippines. And that's all I have to say about that. Now, I'm done. I'm going to go back to, I'm going to buy this equipment today if I can. I found another website completely different than the first one or the second one. And it was time for my show to come on. Plus I have some personal communications with my friends in America, and I'm going to take care of that. And Princess Skate, first of all, why would that concern you? I'm asking you a question, so you're welcome to answer. Why would it concern you whether I have a girlfriend or not? What does that have to do with the price of heavy equipment in the Philippines? But why would it concern you? Are you going to find me a girlfriend? Really? I got to tell you, Princess, I have found the potential girlfriends in the Philippines lacking big time. Lacking in oh so many ways. Lacking in job skills, lacking in communication skills, lacking in where they don't understand. Do you have children? No, sir. I don't have any children. But after you talk with them for a few minutes, well, it turns out that they have a few children. The children just don't live with them. The children live with their Lolo. Okay, that's not what I want. And then I found women that had jobs that were willing to quit their job at, well, they say they make 18,000 pesos a month. I don't believe it. But they're willing to quit their job if I give them their salary in cash. That's 18,000. Even though now they don't have to buy clothes, they don't have transportation, they don't have to buy food, and they don't have to pay for an apartment where they live to have that job. They want that 18,000 pesos in cash money, and then they want money for the family. They can want whatever they want. We have an expression in America. We have an expression. Having, wanting, and needing, and getting are different things. So they can want whatever they want. They can get what I'm willing to offer, and or they could go someplace else. But I mean, the women in the Philippines, I have to tell you, Princess, and that includes you as well. You don't speak English, you don't speak English. You don't comprehend English. I'm not putting you down for that, but you people think you understand English. I need someone that has the ability to comprehend English. I cannot tell somebody 5, 6, 7 times. I refuse to repeat myself 5, 6, and 7 times for simple things. These are people that sell hundreds. This was a $5,000 order for equipment that turned out to be, because the idiot sent me stuff I didn't want, but it turned out to be a $10,000 order, and yet she couldn't understand simple English. You people don't understand English. I need to have a woman that doesn't have children, that does understand English, and is not going to tell me I have to give her her salary and an additional X amount of pesos, and they already have this planned out for the family. It's not going to happen. And then, especially, I'm not interested in meeting a woman with children. So they tell you they don't have children. Then when you go meet them, well, they have children at their Lolo's house. This is not English comprehension 101. This is no English comprehension. So I don't have a girlfriend for a very specific reason. If one of them could comprehend English and tell you the truth and not have some crazy idea in their head that somehow they're worth 40,000 pesos a month, and I take care of them in every other way. Dentist, dental, medical, rent, foods, aircon, and 40,000 pesos a month, then maybe I would consider meeting a decent girl. But until then, I don't have a girlfriend, nor do I want one, okay? Nor do I need one. I certainly don't need to give a woman 40,000 pesos a month, because a few women have made an offer to come live with me for up to 40,000 pesos a month, even though they don't know where I live or how I live. But their requirement was they make 18,000 pesos a month. That money has to be given to them on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis. That's a guarantee. They're going to quit their job, and then an additional 12,000 pesos for the family. You people have this astounding, phenomenal, astronomical Disneyland mentality that somehow you're worth 40,000 pesos a month and I take care of all your needs. To be honest with you, I'd rather remain single. I really would. If I want to date, I can meet a girl in the city on any given day. I throw on a nice shirt, I comb my hair, if I wanted to date. But every girl I meet has some phenomenal, astronomical need that I'm not interested in supplying. And when I tell them, I would like to meet your family, in one case, the girl said okay, but I really wasn't interested in her after lunch. And in the second case, and the third case, no, sir. They didn't want me to know where they lived. Why? You think I'm going to date somebody and I don't know where they live? I'm not going to do that either. You people have this bizarro comprehension of dating. You have been spoiled by the simps and cucks of the YouTube Philippines vlogging genre men. You have been spoiled beyond spoiled, all of you, that you somehow deserve nothing but the best, and you're giving us nothing in return. Now, there are other requirements that I have, including swimming. So far, the girls that I met that said they know how to swim, they don't know how to swim. They want to learn how to swim. That's a different thing. So if they tell you, yes, I know how to swim, and you go meet them for lunch, and then they tell you that they don't know how to swim, but they want to learn how to swim, at that point, any serious conversation is over, because they lied. Okay? I want somebody that swims. I want somebody that speaks good English. I want somebody that doesn't have children. I want somebody that will help me work on the hotel. I want somebody that would like to have children. I want somebody that's not asking me for their salary, even though they don't have a job, that they had a job and they want that salary to come live with me so I can supply them with everything they need in life. I'm not interested in that. I'll stay single. But why you're concerned, I don't know. You are not going to find me a girl. Not you, not anybody. I've already had people, even, what was it? Where was I yesterday? I was in the city yesterday. And I was talking to a person. Let's just say I was talking to a person. And they, on the jeepney on the way home. Now, I know where he's going, and I know where he lives. And I know the community that he lives in. He was going to find me a woman in a community that I already know every single person in the community by face. And the woman that he was going to find me, even after I explained what I was looking for, she only had 2 children. Again, he didn't understand English, but he spoke English. And he said he understood, and I said, I don't want a woman which, well, because her children are 7 years old. I remember one the week I got here, it was a baby, and 14 years old. So she doesn't have children. She has young adult children. I don't know. You people, it's an amazing thing that you don't understand English. All right, so let's take a look at this. Well, how do they manage to build? Because they have rebar benders. I don't know where they got them from. A lot of the skyscrapers are being built by Chinese. The Chinese just bring the rebar bender from China. There is a way to order rebar benders from China, but here's the problem with that, Jim. It's a good question. I could order a rebar bender from China or India, but you have to go online and then you have to send them half of what you want of your order in a Western Union. Okay? So now you're trusting a name on a computer screen. I can't go to India. I can't go to China. I could if there was no lockdown. I'd go there and buy one and bring it back. So now you're giving $100,000, $2,000 to a name on a computer screen that can disappear tomorrow. Just cancel the email address. And you'll never find out who they are. No business license. Nothing. Now, do people do that? I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't do it. But if you want to give me the money for the rebar bender, I'll order something from China. And if I get it, I'll reimburse you for the money. Because these are companies that have people that can, apparently, there's lots of rebar benders. And there's lots of companies that sell them, just not now. And the ones that have it in Manila, I'm not sending somebody $2,000 because they have a name on an internet logo. I'm going to go there. I'm going to hand them all the money in person and take the equipment to the ship on a truck. So the people that build the skyscrapers, they have unlimited funds. They send somebody to China, or they have another branch of their company, corporation in China, and they just buy one in China and ship it to themselves via their corporation. I don't know. I do know a Chinese guy that's got 3 or 4 of these things that builds hotels in Alona Beach and up the block. He brought from China, to answer your question, how they build stuff, this is how they build stuff. The guy comes, the lot is got some mess that a Filipino contractor did. 1 million pesos worth of work, maybe more, maybe 1.5 million. Total disaster. Everything was wrong. Every part of the blueprint was wrong. Every footing was the wrong size, the wrong thickness, the wrong steel. Everything was wrong. That was 9 months of construction. So the owner of the dive shop, Chinese guy, brings a man from China. And I was there when the guy showed up. I was having breakfast with the owner. And he had one of those machines that you talk into and interprets the words. And I talked to him for a little while, and he was the boss. He came to look at the job. This is going back 3 years. And I left. I have nothing to do with the job. I left. And they figured out that this guy is going to bring 21 men from China for 6 months on a work visa, legal work visa. 21 Chinese people. He's not going to hire any Filipinos. 21 Chinese men. And he brings those men 6 months later, and they start working. They ripped out 1 million, 1.5 million pesos worth of total garbage. They ripped it out. It's gone. They took the footings, they took the pylons, they took the support walls, they took the foundation walls, they took the floors, they took the septic tank, the water tank, they took it all out. They just scrapped it. They put all the concrete in a big pile. They brought in a big machine with a vibrating tool on it, and they vibrated the concrete off the rebar. The Chinese men took the rebar over to a lot with some trees in it. They cut the trees down, and they straightened out probably $5,000 worth of rebar with hammers. And by the time they were done, it looked like it was factory-made rebar. Then they got in. That guy took the vibrator off the machine and started digging holes, and the Chinese men went to work. And in 6 months, they made 134 rooms, 4 stories high, dug out half an Olympic-sized swimming pool, 16 feet deep, and the septic tank, and all the floors, all the staircases, all the columns for 134 rooms, twice the thickness of the original plan. 21 men did all of that in 6 months. At that rate, the Filipinos would have taken 6 or 7 years, 8 years. 21 Filipinos could have took 8 or 9 years. I don't know, 10 years. So the Chinese guy brought those men. On this day of the 6th month, they went back to China. Nothing was done for 6 months. Filipinos came in and they made the ground level. Oh, and when the Chinese guy came with the men, a few days after the Chinese man arrived, 40-foot cargo containers started arriving up the block. One after the other, 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 day and night, day and night, day and night. For weeks, cargo containers came. And for weeks, they hired Filipinos and the Chinese men to unload the trucks. They brought out 10,000 pieces of scaffolding, 2 operable elevators for more than 5,000 pounds, up to 6 stories, at least 4 rebar bending tools and rebar cutting tools, table saws. They brought a generator the size of, half the size of my house, 6 foot in diameter, 7 foot high, 14 feet long. They brought it all from China. They don't buy anything here in the Philippines. That's how they do it. That's a good question. I just answered it. I'm done. Thank you. Mexicans are good for labor. They're good workers. Well, yeah, I would agree with that. But we're in the Philippines, and they don't have, Mexicans can't work it. Well, they could, under the same conditions that the Chinese people come. The contractor pays the Philippines government to import workers. But they would never hire a Mexican contractor in the Philippines that I know of. I've never seen one. But they will hire Chinese, because Chinese have a deal worked out with the Philippines government. So Mexicans, Mexicans are very good workers, but you're not going to see a Mexican crew. I don't think you'll ever see a Mexican crew in the Philippines. They'll hire Chinese, but they will not probably hire Mexicans. Now, Scott, that's probably a fake account. The trolls are out to disrupt your streams, get you angry and ruin the shows. Okay, so we'll just kill kick her ass off the kick her ass, which is I don't need her on my channel anyway, to be honest with you. Thanks, Scott. Okay, so that's it. I'm done. So Scott, actually, I'd like to speak with you after the show. Is that possible? A yes or a no ends the show, because I'm going to end the show. Thank you, Jim, for stopping by. Thank you for not commenting. You just don't get it. I don't know you don't understand me at all. Let me tell you something, Jim. Not to hurt your feelings or anything like that, but when I was in college, taking Academy of Aeronautics, aeronautical engineering, and mechanical drawing, three-dimensional mechanical drawing, you could not speak out without putting up your hand. Now, I know you can't do that here, but we didn't just blurt out questions. We waited for the instructor, who was usually ex-military, to, does anybody have any questions? So I'm really serious. Okay, so Scott said yes. That ends the show. I'm Bing Permy from Michael FAZIO in the Philippines. Nothing personal, Jim, but I don't like to be interrupted. When I was operating heavy equipment, I'll say it again. When I was operating heavy equipment, I had the life of 7, 8, 10, 2, 3, 4 people underneath my control. One mistake, one distraction, and they die. So I refused to have any distractions when I was working. And that's kind of like the way I am. Thanks for watching, Jim. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for helping me out as you do, but nothing personal. But at the end of the show, I let everybody say their piece. Thank you very much. And God day to everybody from Michael FAZIO in the Philippines. My next conversation will be Scott, and that'll happen in about 90 seconds. I'm Bing Permy, which means take care always from Mr. Congeniality himself, Michael FAZIO in the Philippines, baby.